Simon Felt.
Speaker. I'll start by saying very simply that I'm not a massive fan of this policy. I don't suspect that's a great surprise to the former Home Secretary or indeed the former Immigration Minister. But nonetheless, I do think it is crucially important. We need a deterrence policy. Whether we have a workable one or not is what sits at the heart of this debate. As a member of the Home Affairs Committee, we've heard the message time and time again, whether it's from law enforcement, from officials on the front line, from ministers, from our friends and neighbours in Europe, that deterrence has to work hand in hand with a fair asylum system. The idea that the solution to this is simply opening up more safe and legal routes is for the birds. We need them, of course, but we also need a hard deterrence to prevent abuse of our asylum system. When this policy was first announced, French officials said to us on the committee that there was a spike in asylum claims in France because people feared what would happen to them if they made that regular boat journey to France and ended up in another country. When the planes failed to take off, the spike in claims levelled off. We've been to the beaches in Calais, we've spoken to asylum seekers in the camps near the coast, and as a committee we've spoken to our compatriots in Europe. It is very clear that countries across Europe, indeed across the globe, are casting around for a solution that we all face, for a challenge that we all face, Millions of people are on the move due to the effects of climate change and war, and we are not on our own here. And I gently suggest to friends and colleagues across this chamber who think that this is the government tilting it to a particularly British windmill, that we are not. Versions of this scheme are being worked up across Europe, across the world. We need a rational asylum system, one that extends to help beyond schemes to Hong Kong residents, to people from Ukraine, Afghanistan and Syria, the schemes that we should be rightly proud of. We need one that extends to people who need genuine help. We need to erode our asylum backlog, and I give full credit to my right honourable friend for the work he put in doing just that. We need to place more work into inculcating citizenship for those who come here. We also need a sensible discussion on legal migration, being proud of the people who want to come and live and work here, set up their families here, and only tapering off numbers once we've geared the system enough to grow our own, not least to support agriculture, tourism, fisheries and social care, and avoiding cliff edges. But I go back to the main point. We do also need a deterrent. One that stands up and says to the criminal gangs and the people traffickers that their trade will not work. That they can try and put people on boats across the channel, but those boats will be intercepted and that their journey will not end in Britain. Doing that will break the trade. Doing that will make the boats unviable. And it's a goal that we share across this chamber. The key issue that the Supreme Court raised was whether Rwanda was considered to be a safe country in processing asylum claims, and whether individuals sent there were at risk of refoulement. The court argued that they're at risk. The measures in the new treaty, including independent monitoring and the new appeals body with a Commonwealth National Co-President, should put these concerns to bed. The belt and braces approach that the government is taking is proportionate and consistent with the rule of law, going so far as it can, but no further within the bounds of our international treaty obligations. Not my words, but Lord Wolfson's words. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I may dislike this policy and indeed the reality of where we find ourselves, but voting for this measure is the best route to stopping the boats, to saving lives and to crushing the business model of the criminal gangs who are exploiting some of the most vulnerable people in the world. I will be supporting this bill tonight.
Thank you very much.